Hola, ¿qué tal mi gente? Mi nombre es Omar, and today I want to give you guys 4 tips on how to learn Spanish this year. So I began learning Spanish back in 2014, literally like a decade ago, and the language learning space has definitely evolved and changed since I began learning Spanish. It felt like there were limited stuff on YouTube to watch. It felt like Duolingo was the only application out there. Now we're in 2024 and all of that has changed. There's a lot more resources out there. There's a lot more people learning Spanish. So there's a lot more people teaching Spanish. How can you learn Spanish this year? I want to give you guys 4 tips, and the fourth tip itself is actually the best. It is so the one that's helped me out and my other friends who have learned languages too. So stick around for the last one. The first thing you want to do is find a free resource out there. YouTube is your best friend. There's lots of people teaching Spanish on YouTube, and you want to prioritize free stuff at first because you don't know if you're going to stick around and actually pursue it, in the long term, because lots of people do quit when it comes to language learning. So figure out if it works for you, figure out if you like it, try finding a YouTube channel that fits your liking and teaches it in a way that's absorbable, digestible to you, whatever. Second thing you want to do is to prioritize making connections in that language. So you can get an application that connects you with native speakers like Hello Talk or Tandem, and that's a great idea because you'll be able to put in your native language and your target language, and it will connect you for free with people who are native speakers of your target language who are learning your native language. So it's like a language exchange itself. You'll be able to make friends and to meet people who have the same passion as you. If you're learning Spanish, odds are like you probably met a person in your personal life who's not passionate about your growth in the language and who don't want to practice with you. We've all met those people. So actually prioritize making friends who are on a language learning journey themselves, because they're going to be a lot more compassionate and more understanding of your ambition to learn Spanish. The fourth thing you want to do is to create your own immersion strategy. Lots of us actually wait to become immersed in the language when we can absolutely have full control over how we're immersed in the language. So, for example, what are things that you use every day? Probably an alarm clock, your phone. So, what can you start with there? You can start with changing your alarm clock a Spanish song. You can change your phone settings to Spanish. You can start using your commute to work every day and listen to a podcast in Spanish. You can use your lunch break for an hour and listen to a podcast in Spanish. So it's important for us to take full dominion over our immersion and how we are immersed in the language, because at the end of the day, fluency is not going to knock at your doorstep. You got to chase it. The fourth tip that you want to do is to find you a boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, get any when you have a romantic interest in the language, that really helps you learn the language a lot quicker. All my friends who have learned languages can attest to this, because we've all had a romantic interest in the past, and that really helped to expedite our language learning journey, because it was like we're always around this person. We're just so passionate about where they come from, their culture, their language, and it just motivates us to just learn the language even more, so we can communicate, so we can talk to their family and them. So it's, yeah, so find you a boyfriend or girlfriend. If they don't speak English, then that's like the best way to learn Spanish. So I want to give you guys 4 tips on how to learn Spanish this year. I began learning Spanish back in 2020. Sorry, 24. Let me start this over. Second thing you want to do is to get an application that connects you with native speakers, so you can practice, and it connects you with people for free who are learning your language and who are, sorry, dang, I messed up.